What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. And as you can clearly see the title of the broadcast, so we already know Trump has sent the troops to Venezuela. And it's a bunch of uproar. Everybody's talking out the side of their necks. Definitely what seems to be, some of our natural born American citizens that, definitely had something to weigh in on it and talking outside their necks and things like that. But it seems like the people of Venezuela are, you know, okay with it. I mean, listen, look, man, we're going to dive off into this, see what the president has to say, see what the charges are going to be. And we're going to hear from a few other people about what's going on. Quarters, nickels, and dimes.
Late last night and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history. And if you think about it, we've done some other good ones like the attack on Soleimani, the attack on al-Baghdadi, and the obliteration and decimation of the Iran nuclear sites just recently in an operation known as Midnight Hammer, all perfectly executed and done. No nation in the world could achieve what America achieved yesterday, or frankly, in just a short period of time. All Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women of our military, working with U.S. law enforcement, successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night. It was dark. The lights of Caracas were largely turned off due to a certain expertise that we have. It was dark and it was deadly. But captured along with his wife, Celia Flores, both of whom now face American justice. Maduro and Flores have been indicted in the Southern District of New York, it's Jay Clayton, for their campaign of deadly narco-terrorism against the United States and its citizens. I want to thank the men and women of our military who achieved such an extraordinary success overnight with breathtaking speed, power, precision, and competence. Lately.
So, yeah, this is where we at here. Shout out to the president. I know everybody don't, like Trump like that. Everybody had their own personal issues. It is what it is, people. Regardless of what, the man at least trying to do a lot better than previous presidents in the past. Sorry, but it's just the truth out here. This is ridiculous, man. Dude had to go. And obviously the people in Venezuela definitely felt that way. Let's keep going.
Nicolas Maduro is behind bars, arriving in New York aboard a government plane that touched down hours after he and his wife surrendered to U.S. Special Forces.
At its core, this was an arrest of two indicted fugitives of American justice, and the Department of War supported the Department of Justice in that job.
They were taken to the USS Iwo Jima, President Trump posting this image of Maduro aboard the ship, blindfolded, restrained, and wearing gray sweatpants. From there, a stop at the U.S. Naval Base in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, before the flight to Stewart Air National Guard Base, where Maduro descended the steps at sunset, surrounded by federal agents. Maduro flew by helicopter to Manhattan, where he, his wife, and 4 others are charged with narco-terrorism conspiracy to import cocaine, and possession of machine guns. The indictment said Maduro is at the forefront of a violent, corrupt 25-year conspiracy to flood the United States with cocaine. Prosecutors said he enriched himself, corrupted his country, and partnered with some of the most violent and prolific drug traffickers and narco-terrorists in the world.
Wow. Hey, listen, look, and this is where we at. I don't care what nobody says. This dude has reigned over Venezuela with an iron fist. And those people were tired and they needed the help. Sorry, but they needed the help. I can see how we have people that are coming out on the internet that are from Venezuela that had to move and things like that from their country, from their homeland, and they're rejoicing this. But it seems to be that these liberals over here in America they're just outraged with the liberation of the people in Venezuela. I mean, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Yeah, we have a huge issue here at home with these super radical left people that actually hate to see people get freedom from tyrants. What is that?
Maduro has previously denied involvement with drug trafficking, accusing the U.S. of using the war on drugs as a bid to remove him and seize Venezuela's vast oil reserves. In a final interview filmed with state television just 3 days before he was captured, Maduro saying the U.S. government knows that if they want to seriously discuss an agreement to combat drug trafficking, we're ready.
What is that supposed to mean? If the U.S. wants to conduct a serious discussion about combating drug trafficking, dude, what this your country that they're sending this shit through? Why don't you just stop them from doing it in your country? You got the army, you got the whatever you need to do to stop these people from transporting stuff through your country or out of your country to America. You have that power as the president. Why should it be a negotiation when you know that's illegal to do that? Come on, people. We got to stop the foolishness out here. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous here. This is crazy.
Maduro took power in 2013 after the death of Hugo Chavez. Federal prosecutors said, like Chavez, Maduro participates in, perpetuates, and protects a culture of corruption in which powerful Venezuelan elites enrich themselves through drug trafficking. Maduro was not the first foreign leader to face drug charges in the United States. In 1989, President George H.W. Bush sent the military into Panama to oust Manuel Noriega, who surrendered and was convicted of drug trafficking, money laundering, and racketeering. And
we've all heard about Noriega. Listen, look, Noriega has been in all our rap songs and stuff like that. I don't see, hold on. Excuse me. I don't see how we can ignore the Noriega. Yeah, Noriega was a huge, was huge in our rap songs, talking about, slanging that stuff.
Former Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez was convicted of drug trafficking.
What Rick say? The real Noriega, he owed me 100 favors. Come on now.
In 2024, President Trump pardoned him in November. Now Maduro and his wife Celia Flores are preparing for their first appearance in Manhattan federal court.
And that initial court appearance could occur as soon as Monday, Gio. For the foreseeable future, Maduro is going to remain in this jail where Luigi Mangione is awaiting his trial, where Sam Bankman-Fried, Sean Combs, and Ghislaine Maxwell have all spent time and have all complained about the conditions inside. Gio?
Wow, so he up there with the stars. P. Diddy, y'all remember that footage when Diddy got caught riding that bike around that empty cell lot? Yeah, man. It's crazy out here, man. It's crazy. But, this is where we at right here. This shit can't be denied, bro. This shit cannot be denied. So we're going to hear from some of the people now about what they think about their home country and also other people and what they think too as well. So let's go here now. Let's check this out.
Lives in the United States and is a Democrat. Why are you guys shitting on Venezuelans right now? You guys are just being so rude. Like, do you know how many deaths this man has, how much blood he has on his hands? And yeah, it was Trump. He got him. Am I super happy it was him? No. But you got to give credit where credit is due. Like, He did what no one thought I never thought I would live to see this ever. Like, I'm in shock. And it makes me sad that you guys are just like saying he was a sovereign president. He wasn't. He was a dictator. He was a dictator. Why don't you take this energy to see who he really was and then come back with your opinions? Like, just let us have this moment, please. I'm a Venezuelan.
So she's basically telling y'all, you super far left Americans out here, that y'all need to mind your own business, basically. These people from Venezuela are actually happy that this went down. And at the end of the day, though, I think that at some point they probably want to move back to their homeland. I would think, you know, and it's sad to see. We basically have a torn situation here in America where we have these radical left people that are stepping their nose in everybody else's business around the world instead of tending to the business that we have at home, trying to heal our own homeland. You know, hidden agendas, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter to me. The problem is that we have our issues and we're not solving for them. So listen, look, man, there's more on the bottom line. So let's keep going here, because this is wild out here that these people are celebrating their homeland being put back or being out of this tyrant's hands. And, you know, these crazy Americans over here are actually shaming or putting these people down for getting rid of that tyrant. This, man, Jesus.
In the US, the only thing that I can do is talk about the truth of what I experienced in my own country. Part of the reason why I ended up leaving, and what is true, what is happening that most people don't even know. This isn't about being pro-Trump or anti-Trump or Republican or Democrat. It's not about that. It's about the reality of what we've been dealing with under a dictatorship, a regime that has been a narco-terrorist dictatorship, essentially, that has done so many horrible things. And listen, if I'm going to be honest with you, if I were an American citizen not knowing anything about what's happening in Venezuela, I would understand their nervousness that people feel under what's going on with Trump. However, as a Venezuelan citizen who does know what's happening, I feel like, please come and help, because this is out of our hands. A lot of people have asked me, but why haven't the Venezuelan people protested? Why aren't they in the streets trying to overthrow the government? The reality is that we've spent the last 26 years protesting in the streets and voting and doing everything that is in our hands to overthrow these people and gain control of the country again. But just to give you one small example, last year after the elections, which the opposition won, and they had the ballots to prove that they won, in 24 hours, almost 3,000 people were put in prison, including people that defended those ballots and that made copies of those ballots to prove that they had won.
So basically, the fraud is real, because that is fraudulent. That's a fraudulent situation. This man threw people in prison because they were basically calling him out that he actually lost and things like that. And yeah, man, come on now. Yeah, shit. He need to go.
People, some of them, nobody knows even anything about where they are. Others are basically in torture centers in Venezuela, and they don't have rights to a lawyer or anybody. Like, they're just thrown in jail. Even posting like messages or sending each other messages through WhatsApp, through private messages on your phone, is enough to land you in prison right now. So voting or
listen to what she said, even sending messages through WhatsApp or private messenger. Now, I don't know if y'all seen these commercials or things like that, definitely that pop up and on YouTube and stuff like that about WhatsApp, talking about they don't see your private messages and shit like that. I've seen commercials like that. I don't know if you have, but obviously from what this lady's saying, they actually can see your private messages. How would they know if it's a private messenger and nobody has access to see what you see, but they can see it and arrest you for saying some shit that they think you ought not need to say?
Taking the streets is not as simple. We've done that thousands and thousands of times over almost 30 years. The only way to bring these people down and to recover democracy and to recover justice and prosperity and peace is to have somebody else end this war. The war.
Right. And that's where they're at right now. And I don't blame them for celebrating getting that trash out of office and things like that, because yes, it's definitely needed. Let's keep going here.
Are slowly starting to arrive to attend this rally. We have seen many families, some of them with their small children, wearing their colors, the traditional colors, red, yellow, and blue. Many of them carrying the Venezuelan flag. Moments ago, we also heard some chants. They were shouting, "Libertad, libertad," freedom, freedom. Let's go ahead and take a look at some video we shot earlier today. The streets here in the area are now blocked off, and authorities set up a perimeter as the Venezuelan opposition groups in South Florida prepare for this rally. But it's a much smaller crowd than we saw yesterday. The concentration is much smaller. Earlier this afternoon, Mass at Our Lady of Guadalupe Church, which serves Catholics in Doral, drew hundreds of parishioners. There wasn't an empty seat there. The community united, praying for the future of Venezuela and hopeful this is a step in the right direction.
We were there because we need to pray for the life, for our country.
Here right now.
And I understand that. I feel it. You know, these people obviously love their country, and they had to vacate their country under that tyrant that was out there, you know, creating all that chaos. Jesus Christ, man. I'm glad to see that these people are being liberated and things like that. So we're going to go here now. We're going to check this out because this is wild out here. So let's see what's going on with this guy here and what he has to say about this particular situation in Venezuela.
See, these are the Venezuelan people that are celebrating after Trump went in and liberated them from the dictator Maduro. But if the people are happy, then what's going on here?
So loud that the war criminals in Washington hear.
Why is the American left in Times Square protesting that Trump went in and liberated those happy people? Once again, these are the Venezuelan people, whether in Venezuela or around the world, celebrating. And these are the butthurt liberals in New York.
Hands off Venezuela!
Happy?
That's crazy. And see, this is the super left individuals that are in Times Square, like he said, which he presented video footage, that are out there talking out of the side of their necks, talking about hands off Venezuela. Those people down there and other Venezuelans that reside in America are very much happy that this is going on. And like the young lady I showed you in the beginning of the broadcast here, she's saying that she's happy, and she's also, you know, a liberal, Democrat, whatever, you know, and she's even giving Trump the praise on liberating Venezuela from that trash ass dude and his broad. You know, I'm just saying here, America has a huge mental health issue. And I stand on that because the thing of this is we have a segment of people that understand logical things. And also we have another huge segment that are just, I don't know, that it's delusion or it's just stupidity. I can't grasp the actual term that needs to be used for those types of individuals. But for them to be out there protesting that America needs to be hands off Venezuela, and we have the Venezuela citizens, whatever part of the country they're in over here, because they had to flee Venezuela or around the world, and they are celebrating the fact that Trump went in there or sent people to regulate, you know, the situation in Venezuela. You know, shout out to the regulators, Warren G, mount up. But I'm just saying, it's crazy out here to see the citizens of that country okay with this, but some Americans have an issue. That's very sad.
Angry.
Stop the bombings, right?
So Trump got rid of a dictator. Now you have the people that protested no kings and Trump is a dictator, angry that Trump removed the dictator. I'm really trying to understand what the left is all about here. So a bunch of brown people were liberated from a dictatorship, and you're mad. I thought dictators were bad. You guys celebrate when there's mass abortions, but you don't celebrate when there's mass liberation. Well, I'm a little confused here.
Wow. What did he just say? Hold on. What did he just say?
You guys celebrate when there's mass abortions, but you don't celebrate when there's mass liberation.
Man. And this is where we at, people. It is what it is out here, man. That dude said it right here at the end of the broadcast. It is what it is, man. He said you celebrate. Wow. He said you celebrate deleting the children. But when people get liberated from tyrants that are destroying countries, holding back resources that could benefit the country and things like that, to help said country thrive and make their way on the world stage that like they can do. And, you know, some people like, you know, it's just after the oil and this and that. Well, obviously, you know, that was a good way for Venezuela to gain profit on the world stage. But no, everybody wants to deal in illegal narcotics and stuff like that. Everybody wants the world to be high out of their minds so you can be fools out here and be and destroy yourself. But listen, it is what it is at this point. It's went down. Sorry, super left people. It is what it is here. He's out of office. Him and his broad, they in New York now, locked up with P. Diddy and all the rest of them motherfuckers. And this is just how it's going down. This is just how it's going down. And I feel some type of way about you liberals out there that are sitting around here protesting against the Venezuelan people that actually want this to happen, that's actually proud that this man is out of office, that actually has lived there all their lives. Like the other young lady said in the broadcast here, this has been 20 years or more that they've been trying to get this man dealt with. Now he's finally dealt with, and you nosy liberal side, talking out the side of your neck ass people are always stepping your nose in other business that you ought not need to be in. This is ridiculous right here. Shout out to Venezuela. I'm glad y'all are free now. Hopefully y'all could, hopefully y'all could get people in office down there that are not going to be tyrants and side with the cartels and things like that, where y'all country can come up and actually be a part of the world stage and make y'all economy great again. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is